On the western end of Long Island lies the most populated borough in all of New York City, Brooklyn. Many distinct areas make up this diverse melting pot of culture. Brooklyn is home to several music venues, art museums, and theaters. Many of the best hip-hop and rap artists have come from this area. There are also a number of genres that have originated from these very streets. Many indie rock and electro-clash artists have been centered in Brooklyn. Several of these artists originated from one of Brooklyn's most diverse neighborhoods, Williamsburg. Williamsburg is home to many Hasidic Jews, while the north side is occupied by many Polish and Italians. East Williamsburg is mainly Italian, African American, and Hispanic. There is also an area called Los Sueros above South Williamsburg, where many Puerto Ricans and Dominicans live. Williamsburg, known for its hipster lifestyle, expressive artwork, and vibrant nightlife. In the 80s and 90s, late-night events were held in music venues that operated in abandoned industrial buildings. In the present day, electro-clash artists such as Fisher Spooner have formed in this neighborhood. Brooklyn's most exciting neighborhood is Coney Island, home of the thrilling Cyclone and Nathan's famous hot dogs. People come from far and wide to enjoy Coney Island's sandy beaches and amusement parks. But many do not know that this fun-filled peninsula has an important influence on American music as well. During the mid-1950s, a group called the Tokens formed in Abraham Lincoln High School. The Tokens were a doo-wop group, most famous for the hit single, The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Several other doo-wop groups have formed in Brooklyn, such as the Dan Lears, the Shells, and Little Anthony and the Imperials. Several of America's most famous artists came from an area in the heart of Brooklyn called Flatbush, one of the borough's most diverse neighborhoods. In the past, much of the population consisted of Italians and Jews, but in the present day, Flatbush is home to many Caribbeans, Southeast Asians, and Pakistanis. Among the stars from this area is Neil Diamond, one of the world's best-selling artists of all time. Diamond was born to a poor Jewish family in 1941. He began his music career in the 1960s after dropping out of college to accept a songwriting job from Sunbeam Music Publishing. Later, he continued songwriting and eventually became a solo artist when he released his hit, Solitary Man. Since then, he has sold over 120 million records worldwide. Another American icon, originally from Flatbush, is Barbra Streisand, one of the best-selling female artists of all time. At a young age, she lost her father and had little support from her mother for her singing career. She was a classmate of Neil Diamond's, both attending Erasmus Hall High School. Since the age of 16, Streisand has been recording albums and journeying into the world of film. most eminent rappers grew up in the projects of Bedford's Stuyvesant neighborhood, also known as Bed-Stuy. Many of America's most eminent rappers grew up in the projects of Bedford's Stuyvesant neighborhood. Also known as Bed-Stuy, this area is located north of Flatbush. Here is the cultural center for Brooklyn's African American population. Bed-Stuy is famous for its Victorian architecture and its do or die motto. Jay-Z, one of the best-selling musicians of all time, and the greatest MC of all time according to MTV, was raised in a housing project called Marcy Houses. He attended George Westinghouse Career and Technical Education High School with Biggie Smalls and Busta Rhymes. He had a rough childhood, being that he had an absent father. He was shot 3 times and sold crack cocaine to get by. From an early age, he was able to express himself through music. He was given the nickname Jazzy, which later adapted to his stage name Jay-Z. Early in his career, he made brief appearances in the works of other artists. After his 1996 debut album, he began to climb the charts. Jay-Z is now known as one of the most successful rappers of all time.
I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it. Biggie. Biggie. Biggie.
The notorious Big, aka Biggie Smalls, also grew up in this section of Brooklyn. Like Jay-Z, Biggie had a difficult childhood and a father who abandoned his family. The rapper was teased as a child for his weight, hence the nickname Big. Although he was very bright, he was involved with drugs and crime from a young age and spent some time in jail. Biggie started his career as a teenager, performing for people on the street. He went on to become one of the most influential rappers of all time through the stories with his lyrics. However, his career came to a sudden stop when he was shot by an assassin in 1997. Junior Mafia was a group formed by the notorious Big. All members were childhood friends of his. Of these include Little Kim, the only female in the group. Junior Mafia helped her to get a head start for her solo career. As a teenager, she was kicked out of her house and living on the streets of Bed-Stuy. During her teen years is when she first met Biggie Smalls, who was an inspiration to her artistic life. After his death, Junior Mafia began to fall apart, and Little Kim started her first solo career by making guest appearances on various albums. Soon afterwards, she released Hardcore, her debut album. Since then, she's reached over 15 million albums worldwide and is known as the Queen of Hip Hop. There are many other rap artists that came from this neighborhood. Big Daddy Kane, Designer, Fabulous, and Master Ace are just a few.
Bed-Stuy is not only home for famous artists of this genre, however. American jazz and pop singer Leon Horne was also born in this area. Many other stars, including Tracy Morgan, Jackie Robinson, and Chris Rock were born in this area as well.